my work that I do is working with a personal story, a narrative about my childhood or my children's childhood and adolescence, and the narratives that we construct around our way of being brought up in Australia. I work with mixed media, multiple types of media that help me create the imagery that I want. Mixed media is using any means, anything that you've got to create an outcome. And they actually have to work well together. They can't overwhelm each other. They have to work in a companionable way. If I find one particular media doesn't work very well for the outcome of the drawing, then I'll go and continue to explore other media that will give me the outcome, the perfect drawing that I'm looking for. This is the overall work, and for the purpose of this demonstration, I'm just going to choose one particular figure and show you how I went about constructing this figure, and it'll be these girls. So I will find a piece of fabric that I'll like as a background, and I'll scan that in the computer, and I'll change it to suit the colour scheme that I want, or I'll change the size, and then I will print that out on a paper. I have to use quite a fine weighted paper because I use a needle and thread, and I'm penetrating the paper. I made myself a little template of the shirt, the little girl's shirt, just out of scrap paper. And I'm going to now put that down on the gouache paper and cut that out. And I've stuck it down with some green tape, and this is an M3 tape. And I've chosen this tape to stick it down with because it doesn't remove the surface. And I also like embroidery scissors to cut with the paper as well, because they have a really sharp pointy tip. But because this paper is a little bit more fragile, it can rip with the Stanley knife. So I've got my figure already drawn on the paper. I have to embroider on these surfaces before I stick them down. And I do that because I like to embroider and have them handheld, and they're quite tiny, and I need to be able to use them in a very delicate manner. So I'll go through my box of threads and I'll use them like I would coloured paint, and I'll choose the colour scheme of threads exactly like I would with a paint box or coloured pencil box. So I'm going to just show you how I might do some, we've done the embroidery of the shirt, but also how I might do some embroidery of the skirt. So I have a box of threads. They all have different textures, so this might be a wool texture, and this is a silk one, and we also have a variety of widths and size and cool, warm, etc. So I will usually sit and decide, okay, should it be in blue wool or should it be in cotton? And I'll also be mindful, if I want to see this at a distance, the thicker the thread, the thicker the line, I'll be able to see it in the distance. I'll thread through the eye of the needle, then I'll do a knot at the bottom of the thread so that it can actually stay in the back of the work. So I'll actually also have my foam, and I just penetrate a hole and with the needle, and I'll just pick a place and say, all right, I think I want that line to be there. And then I'll just sew through the line. So the light little cotton thread holds down the big fat thread, and I'll decide actually the journey of where this thread is going to be. So I'll puncture a hole first, and then I'll put the little thread through and overlay it or couch it over the big woolen thread. And that way I've got movement with the line as well as just a straight line. I can create some movement in the line. So I'm happy with the way that's ending up now. I'll just seal that off. So I'll do a knot behind the work, and I'll do it low down in the work so you can't see the knot when I've It has to be quite flat because when I'm gluing the paper down, there can't be knots and threads left behind the work. It has to be quite clean. So we've got a skirt and we've got a top, and I'll assemble them in a position. I'll register it. I'll make sure that I've got these. I'll just put some marks where I think it should sit. And I'm also using this like sewing pencil, which has a very fine chalk tip. And the reason I like this one and use this one as opposed to a graphite pencil is that I can't erase graphite off this paper. The paper is always really delicate. I will stick the clothing down using a various range of double-sided sticky tape. Glue alters depending on the weather, so if it's quite humid, the glue might not stick. The glue can spread as well too, and I have less control. I put all the tape on the back of the little shirt. All right, put the shirt down in the position that I think she should go in. There you go, there. There, all right? Okay. So now I've got the shirt, I've got her legs, I've got her shoes. One of the shoes is embroidered, one's just the flat black paper, so you can see the difference of how the embroidery creates movement. I like the hair to be quite flowing, so I'll use the threads to create hair. And then when the figure's done, I'll embellish the drawing and I'll pick up the elements that are in this drawing, such as the floral motif, and I'll do some fine sewing on the floral motif. So use materials as a way to explore, and use materials as a way to expand your work practice. And it allows you to be quite expansive in whatever you choose to do and whatever output and outcome that you want, rather than being limited to only working in a particular medium. You can use it to create a whole new type of work practice as well too.